Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the Disney Dining Show. I'm your host, Pete Werner, joined at the table this week by my good friends, Mr. Steve Porter.
Hello.
And Mr. Eric Gross.
Hi.
And for those of you who have not checked out the videos on moving to Orlando, Eric is our resident real estate agent, but also helping us with some of these dining shows. You'll be seeing a lot of him in 2019, which is perfect for this show in particular because we're talking about what we're looking forward to in 2019. Lots of things happening at Walt Disney World in the new year. And Steve, I'm going to start with you. What is it you are looking most forward to, dining-wise?
Yeah.
In 2019.
There's obviously a lot to look forward to, but I think what comes to everyone's mind probably right away is Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is coming. So I'm very excited about the Cantina, Olga's Cantina, I believe. Just to I kind of have it in my head what I'm imagining based off the movies and the concept artwork and everything. But until I actually see it, that anticipation is building and building and building. So, yeah, I'm very excited. It'll be a great place to get a drink if you're over 21, and I'm excited to see what the food offerings are there. And I'm curious to see how creative they get with it, because we saw what they did with Satuli Canteen and Pandora. So, using the whole Star Wars universe as inspiration for the dining and cuisine there could be really, really cool. So I'm very, very excited about that.
All right, Eric, what about you? What are you looking forward to?
I am really looking forward to the new restaurant coming to the Japan Pavilion in Epcot. I think that's going to be a really cool restaurant and a really great place to eat because I'm always interested in Asian food. I love trying something different, and I think Epcot's the place to do it. So.
You're very adventurous.
Yes, I am. I love to try new restaurants. I really like Mediterranean and Asian food, so when I found out that they're having a new restaurant opening there, I'm stoked for it. So.
Well, you've been to various places in Asia. Mm-hmm. So is there a specific type of food in Asia that you're?
Well, I haven't been to Thailand, but I do like Thai food a lot. When I was in Japan, I ate. I went to this one restaurant, and it was down these back alleys, and I had the best sushi of my life. And I didn't know what I was eating, but it was really good. So.
Yeah, I'm. I honestly, what I'm looking forward to, I'm looking forward to Star Wars. I'm looking forward to any new restaurant that they open. They're having some new ones coming to Disney Springs as well. Honestly, what I'm looking forward to, though, a lot of what we cover on this show is table service. We'll do some counter service here and there. Much more emphasis going to be on snacks and counter service in the new year. So I normally don't do counter service. I normally don't. So I'm excited to, it's funny. I will out in Disneyland. When I'm out in Disneyland, I'll definitely do a lot more counter service because
you're on the go. You're trying to experience everything.
That, but it's also that historically, anecdotally, maybe, Disneyland's counter service far superior to ours. But I want to challenge that. Yeah,
well, and I think I agree. Disneyland's is still better. I don't think there's any doubting that. But I think that you will be surprised by, we'd mentioned earlier today. I was talking to you about these Disney Springs quick service locations, and you're like, oh yeah, I haven't been to half of those, and I think there are some real gems in there that you'll be excited to try.
Yeah, well, we were talking about that we need to be doing more in Disney Springs too, but yeah, especially like counter service and stuff like that because I haven't been to Deluxe Burger, Polite Pig.
I know. I really want to go there. I haven't been there either, and I'm really waiting to go there.
And I'm a huge fan of the Ravenous Pig in Winter Park, which is owned by the same people. Mm-hmm. I think the Ravenous Pig in Winter Park is one of the best restaurants in Orlando, hands down. Was just there. No, seriously. I was just there last week. I think I've eaten there 2 or 3 times now in the last month.
Wow.
Going back again, having dinner with some friends next Wednesday over at the Ravenous Pig. So, and again, table service versus counter service. But I want to, I've just kind of gone off the narrative in my head that Disney World counter service sucks and Disneyland doesn't. So I need to challenge that narrative, and that's why.
Yeah, well, and I think I think the narrative, you're right. I think 10 years ago, if you were to really think about what the best quick service at Disney World would be, there's not a ton to choose from. And that, I think, even though they're not quite to where Disneyland is, I think they're working their way in that direction. So, yeah, I think there's a lot for you to check out. I also want to say, for me, I forgot to, this was going to be the thing that I was looking forward to, but then Star Wars Land popped up in my head. But there's a lot of, like, huge, exciting places that have been around for a while that were actually on my list last year when we were having a similar discussion about what we were looking forward to in 2018. That, we're so busy with everything else that stuff like Cinderella's Royal Table or the Brown Derby, there's a couple other like really big iconic locations that I'm excited. Maybe this will be the year that we
actually do it.
Yeah. So yeah, for me that's another thing that I'm really, really looking forward to.
What about you, Eric? Restaurants, not necessarily new restaurants, but restaurants that you've wanted to try that you haven't at Disney. Are there any that pop out?
Well, I have tried Marrakesh in Morocco, and I'm dying to go back. I had a really
Yeah,
I like it. I
like it too.
know it's really like maybe controversial, but I think it's a really good
I don't think it's controversial. I just think the food didn't. I mean, then again, you know what?
But do you like Mediterranean and Middle Eastern food?
Not really. I'm not that adventurous with my palate. I'm just not. But I also think that makes me more in line with a lot of other people.
Right.
I don't want to speak in broad generalities, but I will. I think a fair percentage of Americans
Don't want to eat lamb.
aren't we're not, we know what we like and that's what we want. And I'm very much like that. There was a time I considered myself as having an adventurous palate, and then I realized I was lying to myself that I don't. That if, given the choice between, a Middle Eastern lamb dish
And a burger.
and a nice pork chop, I'm all about the pork chop. I don't like gamey meats. I don't I don't eat seafood. Although that's something I really do need to kind of try and.
Yeah, let's challenge that this year.
I really need to, but every time I get close to doing it, I'm like, no.
Is it that you don't want you see something else on the menu that you want to try instead?
Well, it's safer.
Or?
It's again, it kind of comes down to that. What's safer? And I think that's why people that will admit that they don't have an adventurous palate. What it gets down to it is I want to stay with what's safe. Especially you're at Disney.
Yeah.
And the risk you're running is especially the table
dollars.
service is expensive.
Yeah.
It's not like you're at some cheap restaurant where I'm only going to lose $20 if I don't like this dish.
And it's the whole experience of being at Walt Disney World and that memory. If you're only there for 4 nights, if one of your dinners is really, not great, that's...
Well, I was just going to talk about that and that, and maybe this is the broader theme for 2019 is about challenging narratives, internal narratives. If I had a bad experience at a restaurant and think about, what I do for a living and that, my job is to challenge that and say, well, maybe it was an off night for the restaurant. But like Marrakesh, I went there twice years ago, didn't like it, and won't even consider going back. But why is that? Is that fair? Is that, so maybe the broader narrative for me in 2019, what I'm looking forward to, is maybe challenging some of these preconceived notions and opening myself to the possibility of being surprised, pleasantly surprised by the experience.
Sounds like we might have to do a review.
You know what? I'm fine. We can do that. We can go ahead and we can do a review of Marrakesh. There won't be a spring in my step and a song in my heart going in, but I know I'm willing to try. I'm much more excited about reviewing Brown Derby or reviewing some of these counter service restaurants. I think I'd be more excited about Tomorrowland Terrace or
Cosmic Rays
than I would be about Marrakesh.
Wow,
man.
dang.
Yeah, that's harsh.
But so yeah. But I think that's probably what I'm looking forward.
Well, if you're
to.
on a trip to Disneyland or Disney World, I think maybe play it safe a couple nights and then do one crazy night, or try something you wouldn't usually try. I think that would be a really great way to balance it, because I wouldn't want to eat adventurously
the entire time.
Yeah. That wouldn't be it.
Well, I'll tell you what. We'll make that a recurring theme in 2019 with our dining reviews. In all seriousness, we'll do reviews of things
out of our comfort zone
that we really don't want to do, and see what the experience is. I think that would be fun.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
So, all right, there it is. That's what we're looking forward to in 2019. That will do it for this episode of the Disney Dining Show. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you again next week. Have a great week, everybody.